As we near the end of 2025, I thought I'm going to end this year by doing a layout review. My layout is a point-to-point layout. Basically, it starts down here at Kingston, and it ends up here in Blairsville. Yeah, we can see that. Anyway, I started building this layout in 2023, and I started with the center section, which is a continuous run. But then I added on both dimensions, both sides, and ended up with this point-to-point layout. So on this side, on this lower end, we start with Kingston, got the Loyal Henna Creek, Kingston plant, and it goes around the bend to the other side, which we'll go there in a minute. Most of the buildings here are scratch built. There are a few like this. The little theater there is kits. Everything up here in Blairsville is scratch built. The roundhouse and the little shop buildings, the coal wharf. That's the freight station, passenger station, and the town buildings. Some are kit batch, but most of them are scratch built. Let's go to the other side of this section right here. By the way, this bottom section is a reverse loop. Comes out over on that end over there. Let's go to the other side. Well, before we move on, one of the things I wanted to mention is, again, it's point to point, starts at Kingston, ends in Blairsville. You can see the difference in height is around 20 inches. Maybe 21, 20. Anyway, it's around 20 inches. And to get from one end to the other end, it's about 105, 106 feet. And if I go slow, it takes 15 minutes to go from one end to the other end, believe it or not. If I run it as a point-to-point. But most of the time, when I'm doing these videos, I just run the center section, which is a continuous section. Well, here on the other side of the reverse loop is the limestone tipple that was on a Ligonier Valley Railroad. Actually still exists today. And this is where I'm doing my changeable scene projects. And of course, it's right below Blairsville Yard. Well, I fired up my RS3 for right now, but basically, again, this middle section, this center section, is a continuous loop, basically a folded loop, which we'll run that train in a second. But if you leave the loop on here, that heads down to Kingston, the lower level, and if you leave the loop up above, coming out of Jamestown, that heads up to Blairsville. So let's run this train for a second. This section here, the center section, is the first section I built. I started this layout in 2003. I called it Jaystown at the top. Most of my kids' names start with the letter J, including my name. So this is Jaystown up here. Basically, Jaystown is there's a station over on that end, but basically it's just a waypoint on the railroad, about the center of it. If I'm running from point to point, we're going to see the train come into Justin Junction here in a minute. I have several different spurs that go to different industries. For instance, the spur over here that goes that way, it goes to the junkyard and the chili factory. When we go up here, there's a spur that goes to the Coke Works. Over on this side is the one of my nicest features. I think is one of my nicest features is the Isabella Coke Works. Coke Works. Basically, I got the whole coking operation, very similar to the operations that took place in Western Pennsylvania. Right here. And of course, you can see up above the layout there's I got a lot of shelves here with trains on them. Lionel trains mostly. All O-gauge trains. But most of my O-gauge trains is stored away in boxes. Anyway, I also have a removable section that's actually removed right now. It's part of the main line. It comes over to here, and it's sitting back there on the shelf, and that's where Edstown is located. I got it out right now because I've been doing some things and some work, and it's easier than crawling under all the time. Let's watch this train go by. There it goes. Anyway, I like to run nice and slow. Over here is Old Town. Old Town. The reason I call it Old Town is some of the buildings there I built actually when I was a kid back in the 1960s. So I decided to put some of those buildings, they're scratch built out of balsa wood, there and call it Old Town. This town here is Jamestown. Most of the buildings have interior detail, by the way. Taken a lot of time over the years putting these things together. This area up here I call Smith. Smith was actually a little village with a station stop located right outside of Blairsville, which is where I grew up. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody's patronage this year and tune into my channel. I enjoy interaction. I enjoy the comments, and I like making these videos. So hopefully do more this coming year. But I'm getting pretty old, so we'll see how far I continue to go along with these things. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.